Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories. In response to Palestinian rocket fire toward Israel's southern communities, the IDF destroyed a Hamas position in the Gaza Strip. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi voices his belief that the steps taken by his country to help end the division among the Palestinians have paved the way to a just peace agreement between Israel and the Palestinians. U.S. President Donald Trump said he wanted to give a shot at achieving peace between Israel and the Palestinians before making a decision with regard to a possible relocation of the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Islamist militants launched a rocket from the Gaza Strip last night toward Israel's southern communities, yet according to an IDF report, the rocket exploded in an open area on the Gazan side of the border's security fence. No injuries or damage were reported. In response to the Palestinian rocket fire, the IDF said it destroyed a Palestinian observation post belonging to the Hamas organization, which Israel views as solely responsible for any rockets emanating from the Gaza Strip, even if the group was not directly behind the fire directed at Israel. The rocket fire comes after Hamas announced that its security forces arrested senior Islamic State official Noor Issa, who is perceived by many as the leader of the Islamic State in the Palestinian enclave. 3 other Islamic State operatives were also arrested along with Issa. The arrest took place in an overnight raid on a house in Rafah city, not far from the Gazan border with Egypt, just 1 day before a Hamas delegation was expected to travel to Cairo for the Egyptian-brokered reconciliation talks with their Palestinian rivals from Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas's Fatah faction. A Palestinian source told TV7 that the arrests by Hamas of the Islamic State operatives, which are also affiliated with the Sinai branch of the extreme Muslim group Wilayat Sina, came as part of a series of goodwill gestures by Hamas toward the Egyptian leadership. The source further noted that in response to the arrests, a group that is affiliated with the Islamic State launched a rocket toward Israel, as they know that an Israeli response will be directed at Hamas positions. Meanwhile, in Cairo, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi voiced his belief that the steps taken by his country to help end the division among the Palestinians have paved the way to a just peace agreement between Israel and the Palestinians, while adding that those steps would help establish an independent Palestinian state. President Sisi further noted in a meeting with senior officials of his government that Cairo's efforts will ultimately allow the Palestinians to have secure, stable, and prosperous lives. Meanwhile, Palestinian negotiators are scheduled to convene tomorrow for their first round of negotiations in the Egyptian capital. The reconciliation bid, the latest in a series of several attempts between the Western-backed Fatah party of Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and the internationally recognized terror group, the Islamist Hamas organization, came after the latter decided, under immense economic and political pressure, to disband its shadow government that administered the Gaza Strip. While Hamas declares its decision to hand over administrative control as a strategic move, Palestinian officials in the West Bank told TV7 that the growing isolation of Hamas was the key ingredient to the latest developments. The officials pointed to the significant blows Hamas's umbrella organization, the Muslim Brotherhood, has suffered in recent years, as well as the ongoing blockade imposed by regional powers on Qatar, Hamas's main financial backer. The final blow that forced the Hamas leadership to relinquish its administrative control of Gaza came after Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas decided to stop paying Israel for electricity it provides the Palestinian enclave, a move that has elevated pressure on the densely populated Gaza Strip due to a rapidly deteriorating humanitarian situation. That is why, ahead of tomorrow's meeting in Cairo, Hamas declared that the first steps will focus on the humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip.
كل شيء سوف يطرح في لقاء ثنائي بين حماس وبين الفتح بالرعاية المصرية في حوارات القاهرة، على رأسها القضايا الإنسانية المتعلقة بقطاع غزة. هذا أمر وطني وإنساني وأخلاقي وملح.
Despite voiced optimism with regard to the reconciliation talks, reports indicate that unity is far from a reality. Hamas initially declared that it refuses to consider dismantling its military wing, a precondition of President Mahmoud Abbas, yet Palestinian sources told TV7 that the talks in Cairo could potentially provide forces loyal to the president with a limited security role in the Gaza Strip as a first stage for the first time since Hamas took over the territory in 2007. That said, President Mahmoud Abbas emphasized on several occasions that he would not allow Hamas to continue to hold illegal weapons within the Gaza Strip under any final reconciliation agreement. Now to Washington, where U.S. President Donald Trump, in an interview with the Christian television network TBN, said he wanted to give a shot at achieving peace between Israel and the Palestinians before making a decision with regard to a possible relocation of the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
I'm not making any predictions, but I want to give that a shot before I even think about moving the embassy to Jerusalem. So we'll see. But as you know, I'm very, very strong on Israel, and I want to see if we can make peace. If we can make peace between the Palestinians and Israel, I think it'll lead to ultimately peace in the Middle East, which has to happen.
Even though President Trump vowed during his presidential election campaign to relocate the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, the American leader decided after taking office to hold off on his pledge, heeding the advice of regional leaders who warned that the relocation of the U.S. Embassy, which would essentially declare Washington's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, would hinder the Trump administration's efforts to revive the long-stalled peace process aimed at ending the decades-old Israeli-Palestinian conflict. That said, when asked in his interview to TBN whether there was a time frame for the embassy to be relocated, Trump declared that a decision on the matter would be made in the not-too-distant future. The statement by President Trump on the matter of relocating the U.S. Embassy, however, has angered Israeli officials, with ministers in Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet criticizing the American leader. Jerusalem Affairs Minister Zev Elkin from Netanyahu's ruling Likud faction criticized President Trump for not upholding his election promise, while declaring that peace between Israel and the Palestinians was not a viable reality at this moment. Minister Elkin stated that an illusion persists among the international community that the current Palestinian leadership was a partner for real peace, a belief the Israeli minister declared is far from reality. Elkin explained that anyone who sees the ongoing incitement in the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas's refusal to stop paying salaries to terrorists, the election of a terrorist with blood on his hands as the mayor of the largest city in the Palestinian territories, and recently the embrace of fraternity and reconciliation with the terrorists from Hamas, realizes that the last thing that can be expected of President Mahmoud Abbas and his men is to advance peace. It is important to know that Minister Zev Elkin, who is considered as a close associate of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, has criticized the Trump administration on several occasions, with just last week declaring that President Donald Trump has continued the tradition of the Obama administration with regard to condemning Israel's settlement construction policy on lands the Palestinians demand for their future state. Thank you for watching us. Praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. Jonathan Hassan, have an Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.
In order to donate to TV7 Israel News, please follow these simple steps. First, press the Donate logo, located at the bottom left side of TV7 Israel News Facebook page, or on the Donate tab at the head of the page. Then insert the amount you'd like to donate, and fill in your credit card information. Just like this. And press Review Donation and continue. After reviewing your donation details, please press Donate to finalize your donation. That's it! Your donation is now complete, and an email with your donation details has been sent to your email address. You can also print your donation receipt by pressing the link here. Thank you for supporting TV7 Israel News.